Adventure, an unusual and exciting, typically hazardous, experience or activity. This is my top 5 easy camping trails here in Southern California, perfect for a weekend adventure. Sitting in number 5 position, we have Red Canyon, the western part of Bradshaw Trail, and Red Cloud Mine. This is located east of Indio and is an easy trail. You can spice up with a little more difficulty depending on what you like. Expect to spend about a day and a half on this trail to enjoy all of it. It takes about 2.5 hours to get to the trail from anywhere in Orange County, LA. This is a winter trail area, so plan during the winter. As far as scenery, expect to see lots of desert scenery, so it's going to be sparse, bushes, shrubs, with the occasional cool find here and there. Some of the best things about this trail is absolutely the slot canyons, the scenery, and the exploring. There's a lot of rich mining history, which adds a lot. Add on top, there's plenty of areas to go fast, and don't forget about the Bradshaw train bridge. This does connect to the low desert, so it's going to be desert-style camping. Now, there is slot canyons, old abandoned mining areas, and really cool scenery. So you can find somewhere to camp almost anywhere. And with that said, there is a lot of camping available, so you don't have to be stressed about not getting the one camping spot available. As far as group size, you can take any group from small 2-person to a large group of 20, and there will be places to camp no matter where you go. Just keep in mind, the farther you get back in canyons, obviously it's harder to camp a larger group. My 2 favorite camping spots of this route is the one at the bottom of the canyon at Red Cloud Mine, and then also in Red Canyon, back up in the canyon from the bottom. Those are great places to camp, very unique, but don't want to camp at some of those in the rain. Now, if you're in a larger group, check out Red Canyon at the bottom or over by the train bridge. The real only negative about this area is it is very hot in the summer, so this is a winter-only kind of trail. Sitting at number 4, Anza Borrego, and this route in particular is Canyon Sin Nombre, Arroyo Tapiado, Diablo's Drop, Sandstone Canyon, and Outfish Creek. This is located west of the Salton Sea at the southern corner. This is your harder side of easy trails, but stock vehicles can do it. I would expect to spend roughly about 10 hours total on the trail with the exploring. It takes about 3 hours to get to the trail and 3 hours to get home from Southern California. The climate of this trail is low desert and is below sea level in places, so expect hot weather even in the winter. While exploring the area, you're going to see a lot of great things from slot canyons to fault lines and just beautiful desert scenery. Many people's favorite part of this trail is Sandstone Canyon, as it is a narrow slot canyon for a vehicle with beautiful 200-foot tall cliff walls and about 15-foot wide in spots. Outside of that, Fish Creek offers a ton of great adventuring, from wind caves to a fault line to even to dinosaur tracks. Because this trail is out in the open desert, there is going to be a lot of camping, but it's not going to provide much shade. Similar to the last trail, this is desert camping, and there's a lot of places to camp, no shortage by any means. That means you can take any size group, but for my favorite spots, I like personally camped in Canyon Sin Nombre and also down there by Fish Creek and Sandstone Canyon meetup area. Those are great, cool places to camp and low traffic. If you're a large group, right outside Sandstone Canyon on Fish Creek, plenty of places for large groups to camp. The real negative, just like the last one, is this place gets hot. We're below sea level, so it's going to be hot in the winter and insanely hot in the summer. So get out midwinter. It's a good place to explore. Sitting at number 3, a trail I wish I did more often, and that is Afton Canyon in the western part of Mojave Road. This is located near Baker, California, and is easy with an exception of the Mojave River crossing. It could be slightly more difficult if the water's deep. Expect to spend about 12 hours total if you do this area right. It takes on average about 2 hours to get to the western trailhead and about 3 hours to the eastern trailhead. This is high desert, so it's going to be hot in the summer and cold in the winter. So this is late fall, early spring kind of trail. Makes for great weather. The winter can be campable, but it could be a little cold. Just plan around that. The scenery of this trail is the Mojave Desert, so it's very sparse with no shade. Expect to see bushes and remnants of old times. Some of the things that takes people to this trail is the Mojave River because it flows above ground in Afton Canyon. You also have Spooky Cave, train spotting, actually old abandoned train cars that have been left on the side. And once you head east, you got sand dunes and also lava tubes. Since this is desert camping, there isn't much shade. But with that said, there is a lot of camping available for any group size. Doesn't matter if you're small or large, there's plenty of places for you to camp. Some of my favorite camping spots are the Borax Mine, or over on the eastern side of the trail near the hills by Baker. There is a spot over by the Mojave Megaphone. I think it'd be great for a small group to camp. But if you're a large group, camp by the Borax Mine as there's plenty of flat ground for any size group and allow you guys to spread out. The real negatives about this trail is weather, and similar with the other trails, it could be hot in summer and cold in the winter. Now, it can get a little windy out there, so just watch out for that. Overall, it's close to home and a fun place to explore. Rolling at number 2, that's 2N02, 3N16, and 3N14. These trails are located in Big Bear, California, and are considered very easy trails, meaning two-wheel drive vehicles should be fine. Expect to spend about 8 hours total on this trail, and it takes about 3 hours to get to the east side of the trail and about 2 hours to get to the west side of the trail. This is over the mountains, so it can be cold in the winter, so just keep that in mind. But summer's usually perfect. The reason this is number 2 is because of how beautiful the scenery is along this route. On the east side, you're starting near Joshua Tree, which is a beautiful Mojave desert, and you work your way up the mountains to the lush green forest. It sort of has a little bit of everything. Outside the amazing scenery, some of the best things about this trail is the rich history that this area has. It starts the gold rush of Southern California, so while along the trail, you're going to see great things like the Rose Mine, the Baldwin Mine, and also you're going to roll into Holcomb Valley, where there used to be an old mining camp that was at one point tens of thousands of people living there. When it comes to camping on this trail, there's a little bit for everybody. If you're a desert camper or a forest camper, there's a spot for you. Now, depending on group size, you might have to be a little more picky in where you're going to camp, as there's more space in the desert bottom, and as you get in the forest, even though there is place to camp, there's just not as many. Some of my favorite camping spots, well, there's several here, and that is on the lower part, right at the top of Rattlesnake Canyon. There's a great little area for a group of 5 to 10 vehicles, or if you head the mountain, I personally like to camp up near the squeeze as you get deep into the forest and you're away from everybody. If you're a larger group, there is plenty of places to camp near the bottom of the squeeze. As far as negatives, this trail doesn't have many. The really only downside is the camping can get very popular up in the high elevations during the summer. Overall, not much of a drawback, but just something to keep note of. Sin number 1, Saline Valley Road in Death Valley, California. This is a very easy trail, two-wheel drive capable. Expect to spend about 8 hours total on the trail, and it takes about 4 hours to get to the southern trailhead, 5 hours to get to the northern trailhead. Now, the climate along this route is a little different than most other trails, and that is because you do have to go over high mountain passes, but it takes you on low desert points. So there's a little bit of climate for everything. So you're going to have forest and you're going to have desert. So for the high points, the scenery is going to be mostly pine trees and also shrubs, while on the low points is sparse desert. Now, it is some epic views. What makes this the best trail outside of the beautiful and amazing scenery that never seems to end is there is a ton to do. There's a lot of old mining camps to explore. You got the hot springs and just unique features that only could be in Death Valley. When it comes to the camping, there is a wide variety of camping, and that's because you have mountains, desert floor, and mountains again. Whatever type of camping you're into, there is camping for you. So there is no risk of not running out of camping spots. Depending on your group size, you should have no problem. There is less large group camping, but there's still plenty out there. Now, this trail just has way too many amazing camping spots to list them all. Some of my favorites are at the Saline Hot Springs, or by the Salt Tram, down on the north side right below North Pass, or even up on North Pass. On the south side, I love Boxcar Cabin, and also just camping up in the woods in that area. There's some places over north of South Pass that also make just epic views for a camping spot. If you're rolling a larger group, check out Saline Hot Springs or at the bottom of North Pass or South Pass in the desert side, as they make for beautiful scenery. The only true negative of this trail is it can just get too hot in the summer. Also, you have to be conscious in the winter as there could be snow on the passes. So plan around that. It is a winter trail, but you might be able to get late fall, early spring in there. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and comment below. Don't forget to like. Also, let me know, is this what you would think would be top 5 camping trails here in Southern California for a weekend trip? If so, say yes. If not, let me know what makes up your favorite trails. Well, it's time to get back on the trail. Be safe. Hope to see you on the trail.